Hey there guys, welcome to Men's Success TV. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you found yourself in a situation where you're texting a girl and you're not quite sure what to say. Don't worry, we've all been there. But before we dive into how to text girls, let's talk about the psychology of texting. Texting is a whole different game than talking face to face. From the context to the timing, there are a lot of factors to consider. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll have a much better understanding of how to navigate texting and get women to stop ghosting, stop flaking, and start making plans. To do this, we have to understand the psychology of texting. Texting is not the same as face-to-face communication. It's a unique form of communication that requires a different set of skills to master. The context of a text message is crucial, as it can impact the interpretation of the message. Without facial expressions or tone of voice, it's easy for text to be misinterpreted. Timing and pacing are important factors to consider. Sending too many texts too quickly can come off as desperate or annoying, while waiting too long to respond can make you seem disinterested and give her too much space. Emotional intelligence is crucial when it comes to texting. Understanding how the other person is feeling and how your messages might be received can make a huge difference in the outcome of a conversation. So what can you do to improve your texting psychology? First, take the time to read the situation and consider the context of your message. Is it appropriate to send a flirty text right off the bat, or should you start with something more casual? Additionally, be mindful of the other person's schedule and preferences. If they're busy during the day, sending multiple texts in a short period may be overwhelming. Alternatively, if they're typically quick to respond, waiting too long may come off as disinterested. Emotional intelligence is a skill that can be developed over time. Consider how your messages might be received and adjust accordingly. If you notice that your messages are being misinterpreted or not getting the desired response, take a step back and evaluate how you can improve. Remember, texting is not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Understanding the nuances of tone and language can go a long way in improving your texting game. Understanding the psychology of texting is a crucial first step in mastering the art of texting girls. By considering the context, timing, and emotional intelligence, you can craft messages that resonate with the other person and increase your chances of success. In the next section, we'll dive into how to set the right tone when texting girls. This is key to being successful. The tone of a message can make a huge difference in how it's received and interpreted. It can convey playfulness, seriousness, flirtiness, or any number of other emotions. So how can you set the right tone when texting a girl? First, consider the context of the conversation. If you're just getting to know someone, it may be best to start with a more casual and lighthearted tone. On the other hand, if you've been talking for a while and things are starting to get more serious, a more serious and thoughtful tone may be appropriate. Second, take into account the girl's personality and preferences. If she's outgoing and playful, a more lighthearted and flirty tone may be the way to go. If she's more reserved, a more serious and thoughtful tone may be better received. Third, use language that reflects the tone you want to set. If you want to be playful and flirty, use language that reflects that. For example, you could use wordplay to inject some humor into your messages. Alternatively, if you want to be more serious, use language that's thoughtful and introspective. This isn't the time to use emojis. Finally, be consistent in your tone. If you're playful and flirty one moment and serious and thoughtful the next, it can be confusing for the other person. By being consistent in your tone, you can establish a rapport with the girl and build a connection that will lead to a more successful conversation. Setting the right tone when texting girls is crucial for a successful conversation. By considering the context, the girl's personality, and your language, you can establish a tone that resonates with her and increase your chances of success. In the next section, we'll dive into how to create engaging texts that keep the conversation going. One of the biggest challenges when texting girls is keeping the conversation flowing smoothly. Most attractive women have no conversational skills. They look pretty and expect the man to do all the work. It's easy to get stuck in a rut and send boring or repetitive messages that quickly kill the conversation when you're getting no help from the other side. So how can you create engaging texts that keep the conversation going? First, ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that require more than a yes or no answer. They encourage the other person to share more about themselves and can lead to more interesting and engaging conversations. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" you could ask, "What was the highlight of your day today?" Second, share interesting anecdotes or stories. People love to hear stories, and sharing a funny or interesting story can be a great way to keep the conversation going. Just be sure to keep it appropriate and relevant to the conversation at hand. Tell them about the time you saved a dog from a bear, not about what you saw happen in the back of a bar in Tijuana. Third, inject humor into your messages. Humor is a powerful tool when it comes to keeping conversations engaging and lighthearted, and just be sure not to go too far. Fourth, be attentive and responsive to her messages. Show that you're actively engaged in the conversation by responding thoughtfully and in a timely manner. Don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions or share your own thoughts and feelings in response to her messages. Finally, be authentic and true to yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not or say things just to impress her. Be genuine and let your personality shine through in your messages. This will not only make the conversation more enjoyable for both of you, but will also help build a genuine connection. Creating engaging text is key to keeping the conversation flowing and building a connection with the other person. By asking open-ended questions, sharing interesting stories, injecting humor, being attentive, and staying true to yourself, you can create texts that resonate with the other person, keep the conversation going. In the final section, we'll wrap things up with some additional tips and tricks for texting girls. Flirting via text can be a fun and exciting way to build a connection with someone, but it's important to approach it with caution so you don't seem creepy. Here are some do's and don'ts of flirting via text. Do compliment her in a genuine and respectful way. For example, "I really love your sense of humor," or "You look amazing in your profile picture." Use playful and flirty language. This can include teasing, banter, and innuendos, as long as they're appropriate and not offensive. Be creative and unique in your messages. Don't just rely on generic pickup lines or cliches. Pay attention to her responses and adjust your flirting style accordingly. Respect her boundaries and don't push her to engage in anything she's not comfortable with yet. That will only backfire. Don't use offensive or derogatory language. Telling her she's a nasty slut might not come across right over text. Don't send unsolicited dick pics. You got to get some kind of permission first. Don't be overly aggressive or pushy in your flirting. If she doesn't seem into it, then back off so you don't appear desperate. Don't only focus on physical appearance or sexual attraction. You have to show that you're into more than just that. It's important to gauge the girl's interest and adjust the level of flirting accordingly. If she's responding positively to your advances, you can continue to flirt and escalate things gradually. However, if they seem uncomfortable or not interested, it's important to back off and respect their boundaries rather than shoot your shot with a dick pic. Remember, flirting should be fun and playful, not aggressive or disrespectful. So use these tips to flirt with confidence. While texting can be a fun and easy way to connect with girls, it's not without its challenges. Here are some common obstacles that can arise when texting girls and some strategies for overcoming them. Getting stuck in the friend zone. This is a common issue that many guys face when texting girls. They may have great conversations and build a connection, but without the ability to get physical, these friendly conversations lead to, the friend zone. One strategy for overcoming this challenge is to be assertive about your intentions. Make it clear that you're interested in her sexually. If she's not interested, it's better to know now so you don't waste a bunch of time. Dealing with flakiness is another issue. She may seem interested and engage in conversations, but then suddenly stop responding or cancel plans. One strategy for dealing with flakiness is to take longer responding back to her texts. However, if it becomes a pattern and she's consistently really slow to respond and won't keep plans, then it's best to be direct about the issue and move on to someone who's more interested and reliable if she doesn't change. Don't waste your time and damage your self-esteem by chasing after someone who is not interested or just using you to get attention. Texting too much or too often can also be a problem. It's important to strike a balance between being responsive and not coming across as too needy or clingy. If you immediately respond to all of her texts, it makes it seem like you have nothing better going on and she's the most important thing in your life. One strategy for avoiding this is to take breaks from texting and let her initiate conversations sometimes. This can also help build her anticipation and have her now vying for your attention. Common difficulty that arises while texting is miscommunication. Texting can sometimes lead to miscommunications due to the lack of tone and body language. It's important to be clear and concise in your messages and avoid assuming anything. If there's any confusion or miscommunication, it's better to clarify in a respectful and polite way. So texting girls can be a fun and exciting way to build connections and relationships. However, it's important to be aware of the challenges that can arise and have strategies in place to overcome them. By being assertive, understanding, and taking breaks from texting, you can navigate these challenges with confidence and success. In this video, we've covered everything from starting a conversation, to flirting, to dealing with challenges when texting girls. We've emphasized the importance of being confident, respectful, and genuine in your texting style. It's important to experiment with different strategies and find what works best for you and the girl you're interested in. Remember to take breaks, be patient, and be assertive when necessary. I encourage you to leave a comment with your own tips and experiences, as everyone has their own unique approach to texting. If you want to learn more strategies, not just for texting, but for making women obsessed with you, then check out the first link in the description. Please subscribe and turn on notifications and watch another video. Take care.